This is kvci.blogspot.com, George Boss Rhyme, YouTube, Boston, G.B.R. This is a parent, and as you know, I have been banned from all Lowndes County school properties for 62 days for a criminal trespass warning, whatever that may be. It seems as if though Valdosta and Lowndes County has their own set of laws here in the state of Georgia. So this mother called me to tell me a story, and I want her to tell her story to you, because as I said before, regardless of when this may have happened, if I was not reporting this, you may never know anything about it. But just for the record of truth and for the Bible's sake of Jesus, along the lines of truth, what do you know about what she's about to tell you? As you listen to her, ask yourself this most important question. Please listen, please. Listen. If your child would have been caught up with what her child have experienced, wouldn't you want somebody in Valdosta and Lowndes County and the state of Georgia and in the nation to know what had happened to your child? And if that is true, then I think you ought to call the Valdosta Daily Times, ABC News, CBS, Fox, and the rest of them and ask, why did not this information published to the general public under our form of government? Now, what's your name, my beautiful sister?
Chandler Watkins.
Chandler Watkins, can you tell me what you have been experiencing in your own way?
Okay, what happened was on May the 24th, 2013, approximately between the hours of 11 and 12, I received a phone call from the principal of Pinegrove Middle School concerning my daughter being in a fight. And with the fight, the girl assaulted her and she had to defend herself, which she has a right to under the Castle Law. The Castle Doctrine Law states she has a right to defend herself and she does not have to retreat from it. But what happened was, when I got here, this Deputy Robert Atkins, told me that he was getting ready to charge my daughter with battery on a school official, affray, and disrupting of public schools. And at the time, we questioned him. We said, do you have a statement from anybody? And he said, no, not at this particular time. So we figured that once he received the statements, he would let us know and we would know where to go from there. Well, when we got home, we found, as children do, when they see a fight, they record stuff. We found on Facebook the recording of the fight where it shows that the girl assaulted my daughter, and it shows another young lady jumping in the fight trying to grab my daughter, and then when the teacher pulled them apart and he had my daughter restrained and she was the victim, another young lady tried to attack her, tried to swing at her. And in their video, in the police Lowndes County Sheriff video, it looked as if she hit her. But this particular young lady was never charged with anything. I came back to the school system. I asked the principal, I said, we don't see that this particular teacher was struck. Where did they get that from? And he said to me that day, that no teacher of his was struck in his presence, and he had not heard of anybody being struck or hit. And so I said, okay. So I asked him, well, if we have to go to court, would you be willing to, testify or write something, a statement or something stating that? He said he would. Well, we ended up going to the arraignment on July the 17th. Before then, we went to the Department of Justice. We were told that we can actually state our case to them, and then they would decide whether or not it goes to court. But before that happened, Deputy Atkins told us on May 24th that me and my daughter, our family, could not go anywhere until this thing was taken care of. I have a son who just left in the military, who was not allowed to go and see his family, his grandparents who are elderly and underage. He was not even allowed that right because I could not leave my daughter here because she could not go anywhere because of this situation that's going on. Now back to July the 17th, we went to the arraignment. We pleaded not guilty. We presented to the public defender, Mark Monroe, our information that we obtained. The teacher and the principal gave us a statement that no one was struck in this incident, no one had any injuries, none of those things. So there was no reason for her to be charged with battery of a school official. Not to mention, I found out later, battery on a school official means you have to have some kind of bruise, or the skin, or different things So that was a false charge in itself. And we presented it to the public defender, Mark Monroe, and he would not even try to get the case dismissed and get my daughter's record expunged and out of her record and out of the file. He told me it's just arraignment, don't worry about it. Here it is now, we're here in July, soon to be August, I'm still fighting this case because the young lady who started the altercation, she pleaded guilty, which means if she pleaded guilty, my daughter is innocent. So why am I still fighting the system to help get her free and make sure, because they charged her with a felony. Battery on a school official is a felony charge. My daughter is literally is fighting for her freedom right now. And what's appalling to me, that this deputy, I found out from him on July the 8th that he told us, supposedly someone told him that my daughter hit a teacher. He didn't have no facts. His own cameras did not show that. But he had no facts. He based it on what somebody told him. That is not his job as a police officer, as a sheriff. You make sure you stay with the facts. Now this is the facts out of his mouth. He tackled my 14-year-old daughter to the ground and arrested her and put her in handcuffs after she was already restrained by the teacher and she was already calm. There was no need for him to use excessive force, but he used it anyway. And then he tells me that, how did you even think that she hit the teacher? We wanted to know, where did you get that information from? Because we already had statements from the teacher and the principal. He tells us, according to his 8mm distorted camera that ticks, it looked like the teacher head went back and his eyes closed. That is not justification for you to do what you did to my child. The system has failed us in every amount of ounce. I have tried to speak to people in the public school system, the administrator of Lowndes County. I had someone send letters to him to get this rectified. David Troy himself claimed he was getting it taken care of. That did not happen. Okay, look, hold it right there. You're going into another area now. Before you go into where you tried to get help from, let us go back a step further and kind of recap of what you said. Number one, you making accusations that your daughter was hogtied. Was she put in handcuffs? She was put in handcuffs. Do you have any proof of that? Yes, there's a picture. Okay. There's a picture with her being in handcuffs, her face down, and her legs up. I can't honestly say was she hogtied because I wasn't there, but it appears. That's all I can say. Okay, is there any, and you mentioned video footage. Where did this footage come from? Who took that? It was a young lady that took the footage of the fight from the beginning to the end. Also, the Lowndes County Sheriff's Department has footage, 10 increments of footage that shows nowhere on their footage, because I seen it from Lieutenant Stride Jones, that she struck the teacher. Okay, now looking back at this, I'm trying to take a 1, 2, and 3 steps. And I want to do this way because I want the people in Valdosta and Lowndes County and the state of Georgia to understand what's really going on here. Now, so from what happened to your child, do you think that there's a possibility that this same thing could have happened and it was never reported in the newspaper or on television or on radio? You think of it, maybe just, do you think this is isolated? No, this is not an isolated incident. I'm just the only person that has took an initiative to go further and get some results and get something done. Most of the time, the children plea bargain with the public defender, who also is working along with the state attorney to get these children records. I refuse to allow my daughter to have a record. She didn't have one before this incident, and I'm not going to sit back and let them do that to her when she was not at fault. She was innocent in this. Okay, now you mentioned something earlier as we was talking out here when you called me to this location to meet and do this clip for everybody, so everybody can know what's going on here. And yet, this happened how many months ago? May the 24th, 2013. Wow. Okay, now, so my question to you directly is, you told me you had some level of training or something in law enforcement? Yes, I have. Okay. I've worked in law enforcement. Okay, and you was telling me earlier about your pride in the oath that you took, the uniform that you wore, and only sticking to the facts of a case. Can you elaborate on that before we close this clip out? Yes. Well, when when you become certified and you sworn in, there's an oath you have to take stating that you will uphold the law to the fullest of the law. And I am so emotional about it, because I know when I worked in the field, I took my job seriously and I stood by the facts. I wrote down exactly what it was, not what I wanted to be, what I heard somebody said. If it was not facts, that's what I did, wrote the facts. And I'm appalled that this officer didn't have sense enough to realize that facts have a way of coming out. Why would you even lie on a record, a false record? I just don't understand that. I'm a little emotional.
Okay, well, let's just end this right here. This will be part 1, and then we're gonna go to clip 2, where I want you to talk about here in Valdosta and Lowndes County, who did you go to try to get some help to resolve this matter, as I'm sure many other parents should have done if they didn't. So let's hit that next, okay? This is part 2, and of course this is dealing with Pinegrove Middle School in Lowndes County, Georgia. And once again, I could have gone up to the school, but I'm under a criminal trespass warning by the superintendent of Lowndes County Schools, or the sheriff of Lowndes County, Sheriff Prine, and I cannot go on any part of the school campus or I would be arrested. So let's get back to the point now of this young lady here, which she have told me that probably a lot of other people here in Valdosta and Lowndes County are experiencing the same thing. The second part of this is that you tried to go into it before. Tell me who and everybody you tried to get help from, and who finally if anybody was able to help you at all.
Okay. Well, it started with, at the time we did get this, like I said, the teacher and the principal, and I commend them for stepping out and writing a statement that this did not happen, because we wouldn't be able to continue on if they didn't. So I really truly commend them for standing up and doing the right thing and writing a report and a statement that, you know, this did not happen. And after that, we could not get the case dropped after the arraignment, and we tried to get the public defender to do so based on the evidence. We presented to Mark Monroe the evidence, and he said it's just arraignment, we'll wait till later and we'll take care of it then. Well, he hasn't taken care of the situation, because he has not called any witness. He has not subpoenaed anybody. He's waiting 3 days before the hearing for us to come and visit him and talk to him about the case, which means my daughter is not receiving her due process, which is in the 14th Amendment, Section 1. Anyway, then my husband suggested, because Floyd Rose kept saying hinting at that he wanted to help. So we went.
That is the SCLC, Southern Christian Leadership Conference, right?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, Floyd Rose, Reverend Floyd Rose, or whatever title you use for him, had said that he wanted, to help. And so we came to him and we told him the situation. And he wrote a letter to the superintendent, and the superintendent pretty much from the Lowndes superintendent, Wes Taylor, refused to even look at the letter. He gave it to him, but I don't know what he did with the letter, because he never responded. Our phone number was in there. It was an opportunity for him to speak to us, to get what was going on so we can tell him what happened. He never contacted us at all. So with that being said, we end up going to the arraignment, which was on, I believe, July 27th. No, well, it was one of those days. I'm sorry, I have my notes. Well, we went to the arraignment, and Floyd Rose met David Troy, and he said if anybody can help you, David Troy can. So we met with David Troy. We gave him the information, and that was June the 27th. I got my dates right now. It was June the 27th. We met with him the same day of the arraignment, and he said he'll get it done. And so we didn't hear any. I heard from him that Thursday, stating that he talked to the superintendent. He did call him back, and that they're going to work on it. Okay, a week had passed, which is that the 4th of July weekend. I was told they were out. That Monday, I contacted him. I said, I haven't heard anything since then. What are you guys going to do? Well, Monday, he didn't say anything. He said, I'm going to talk to him. Well, me and my husband did not feel like we should not do anything on our part, so we went to make a complaint against the officer. With the Officer Robert Atkins, Deputy Robert Atkins, to make a complaint against him. Well, Mr. Troy, David Troy from Lodak, found out about it and told us, well, y'all handle it. And so when we heard that, we said, okay. So we went, I went past the church of Floyd Rose, and we saw his car, and we decided to stop in and talk to him. And he said David Troy called him and told him that we were handling it, and Floyd Rose said let him handle it. And I said, well, that was not what we were doing. We are allowed to make a complaint, but Floyd was like, well, I thought you was gonna let us handle it first before you make a complaint. I said, I didn't know that it was gonna interfere with us making a complaint and you handling it. So he was like, well, go ahead, do what you're gonna do. So 2 days later, we went to have a conference, me, Floyd Rose, and David Troy. So David Troy begins to tell me he don't know what he can do since we done talked to the officer. He's offended. Now he's gonna go hard on us because we came at him. And he said, I'm not sure if I can do anything. And so Floyd was like telling him, and I explained to him, look, I want my daughter, I want it dismissed. I want it expunged from records and from files because she did nothing wrong. Well, David Troy begins to tell me how he grew up with the sheriff, how he's buddies with the superintendent, Wes Taylor, how all the resource people he know because he used to be a superintendent or something to that effect, some kind of administrator. And I was like, okay. And so he finally said, because I told him, knowing a little bit about the law, that she has a right to defend herself, because his main goal and his main concern was getting the battery of a school official off, because he made the statement on Mr. Wes Taylor answering service, we need to take care of this because you don't want dirty laundry aired.
Wait a minute. I don't like being negative about anybody, but you feel it's necessary at this point to say what you just said?
Well, that's what he said.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm not being negative. That's what he said in front of us.
Okay.
And so, with that being said, after I told him, well, she has the right to defend herself, you know what I'm saying, based on the law, and he was concerned about getting the battery off. He said, he told me since I wanted everything clear, I couldn't do nothing for you. So I had went to Floyd Rose, and I thank him for writing the letter, and David Taylor, I thank him as well for doing what he did. And after that, it was like we were back at square one.
Okay.
And then I had got some information concerning the Justice League. And with
Justice League united with who? Bobby Worthy, right?
Yes, okay. Bobby Worthy. And since then, I'm actually getting some things done.
But let's come back to the Justice League. But what about the NAACP?
Oh yes, I did go. Well, what happened, they saw the picture that I had presented on Facebook because I was trying to get people to get involved for it to be known what was going on in Lowndes Sheriff's office, as well as the school administrator in the city of Valdosta, Georgia. And unfortunately, I didn't get as many hits as I would like so that the world would know about it, so it can bring some publicity, because here, if you don't get that, they are sweeping under the rug, which they were trying to do. And what happened in NAACP, the vice president had called me and said he wanted to meet with me that Tuesday.
Do you know his name? Go ahead, we'll get it later. Go ahead.
And so we met after his service, and he told me he didn't have the papers, you know, that I would need in order for him to do an investigation, because he said they were going to do one. He didn't have the papers, and then he went on to tell me he would have to wait till the former NAACP president come back, because they don't know how to file, and he would get back to me. Well, from that point on, I have not heard from him. That's almost probably a week, maybe week or two.
Okay, now you blaming other people, but I have a question for you now. Did you ever at any point go to the Valdosta Daily Times or TV stations or radio to get your story out?
Yes.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, I called CNN and I left it on their voicemail, and I didn't receive any phone calls. about the situation. So I did make an effort. As far as in Valdosta, no, I didn't have the access to that. I didn't know anybody who I can talk to in Valdosta. But I also did go to the sheriff's office to make a complaint, to let it be known on internal affairs what transpired, and the captains kept me from doing that.
Well, explain how you, go into that in the detail. We're going to cut this clip in a minute, but tell us about the internal affairs. What was your experience with them trying to get it out?
Well, I had two captains to talk to us. One was the captain of the Lowndes County Sheriff's Office, telling us that the individual, Deputy Robert Atkins, does not work under his division. He works under their division that deals with the children, and that I needed to go and speak to him personally as well as his captain. And so we did that. Me and my husband, we did that. We went to speak to him. We spoke to the Captain Temples. He brought Deputy Robert Atkins in, and that's how we got the rest of the information, where he told us he tackled our daughter.
Okay, all right. Okay, anything else you want to say about assistance or anything? What about the Justice League? Were they able to help you at all, or was they just like, I mean, did they help you? Was he of any value to you?
Yes, the Justice League, Bobby Worthy, was very valuable in this situation that I'm dealing with right now. I was able to get, I was told that what is it called? Not the state attorney, but the something attorney. What is it called?
Attorney General?
Yes, the Attorney General is aware of my case. That's what I was told. And also that supposedly the sheriff is not the sheriff, but Jim Crow, who's under the sheriff, is aware of my case. And we also were able to bring pre-arresting charges against the deputy.
Okay, now, we didn't mean the attorney. You really meant the district attorney?
Yeah, the district attorney.
David Miller, because of, how did that come about? How did David Miller, the district attorney, get involved?
Well, because at the time, as a matter of fact, on Monday, we went to file a complaint against Deputy Atkins for a pre-arrest hearing, and we were denied the right to do so by Judge Terry Adams. And so she told me that according to Superior Court, Judge Tillman, that we would have to do an investigation from the police department. And she said since I didn't feel comfortable with the Lowndes County Sheriff's Department and they probably wouldn't do it, I needed to go to Valdosta Police Department. So with that being said, since she denied me of my rights, we went to the Valdosta Police Department and we spoke to Chief Childress. And
hold on, let's cut right here. Part 3 coming up. Please continue.
Yes, and Chief Childress, it was out of his district, so he couldn't do anything as far as what was going on with the Deputy Robert Atkins. And I am totally grateful to Chief Childress, because he took the initiative to help me and my daughter get things rolling, and he allowed us to have a police report against Judge Terry Adams, and that got the ball rolling. And he did also said he was transparent, and he went ahead and let the district attorney know what was going on in this case. And I'm totally grateful and thankful to him for stepping in and doing what he did. He did what he's supposed to. When he took the oath, he followed the law. And that's what all I want from anybody that takes that oath. Do what you're supposed to. Follow the law.
Amen. So. Okay, and so the final analysis with the judges, so what's the status of your case right now, and what did you tell me what did you do this morning as a last resort so far? Where are you at right now, and where do you hope to take this case? Okay. And who you think it will benefit? Okay. Where do you hope to take the case, and who do you hope it will benefit? Okay.
Well, this morning we went and, like I said, we had set out a pre-arrest hearing for the judge because she did not follow through her oath. But because she said she would go ahead and do it for us today, I took back the paperwork from that, and I'm thankful that she did follow through on that. And so we did take out a pre-arrest hearing on Deputy Robert Atkins for what he did concerning my daughter. And right now, they have the paperwork, and what I plan to hope from this, that people will know that they have rights, and don't allow anybody to take your rights away from you. This country was made on that people have their rights And so I just want everybody else to be able to know they have means that you can do something about it. If you get a no, don't stop at no. Continue fighting, knock down the doors. And I'm gonna be honest with you, the reason why Judge Terry Adams said she couldn't do it is because they had not practiced that in 33 years in Valdosta, Georgia, in the probate court. Has never been done. So to be honest with you, I'm the first to get a pre-arrest hearing on an officer.
And in addition to that, how to put it, what did the Justice League United educate you with as a result of your situation? What laws did they introduce you to that you may not have been familiar with earlier?
The Justice League introduced me to the Castle Law. They introduced me to the 14th Amendment, Section 1. They also introduced me to the one about where you can do a pre-hearing arrest on an officer. Those are things I did not know prior to, and because of them, I'm learning to more be in depth and learn the law for myself so that I can protect my household as well as my family. And my concern right now is if this happened to me, how many other families who don't know the law? That was one of the reasons of me fighting for my daughter, because I felt like if they did it to her, I don't know how many times they done did it to other children who are sitting behind bars right now because of it, because they did not know how to fight for themselves, or their parents did not know how to fight, or their parents was too scared to fight. I want to make that difference, that I will not sit back and allow nobody else to be treated and mishandled and that they feel like it's okay because you are in these government seats that you can go against the law. It is unacceptable. There are laws set in place that take care of situations like that. And that's my goal, is to inform the people you have rights and don't let nobody take your rights from you.
Well, I join you, my beautiful sister, and I not only sit with you, but I join with you and everybody else who are willing to stand up. We just saw in the Zimmerman case wherein it's telling us that we had better stand up for what is right. My trespass, criminal, I might add, criminal trespass warning that has restricted me for 62 days here in Valdosta and Lowndes County. And I say Valdosta because Valdosta is in the county of Lowndes, and Lowndes is in the state of Georgia, and Georgia is in the United States of America. I put my life on the line for over 21 years. And so all I'm saying is that I join you, because if a police officer, any police officer, and we must commend the good police officers. Yes. And I commend the good jailers, because yes, I know that there are good jailers at the Lowndes County Jail right now. Yes, if they didn't come and tell me what I know now and been doing for over these last few years, I could not have reported the way I reported. Yes, and so we are happy. And I have to commend Chief Simon, I mean Chief Simon as well as Chief Childress, because as far as I've seen, they have conducted themselves like trained members of law enforcement with the Constitution in their back pocket. But I cannot say that about other agencies here in our community, including the G.B.R. and possibly the FBI, as I followed the KJ case. Leaving all that out of it, I want you to close us out. But before you close us out, I want to say this. I want to thank this mother. I want to thank the father, her husband, for standing strong against what we see happening every day. I've been fighting for civil and human rights since 1975. And I agree with Dr. Matthew Richards, who put together a video called A Chorus of Fear. A chorus of fear is so real in Valdosta and Lowndes County. And you know what makes it even more sickening to me is that the Georgia Attorney General and the governor of the state of Georgia and the Justice Department are aware of what's going on here in Valdosta and Lowndes County starting back in 1988, 89, and absolutely little to nothing has been done to bring about real change in Valdosta. Close us out with any closing remarks you got after I say to them that, as you know, we have 31 jail deaths here in Valdosta and Lowndes County, Georgia. And from 1994 to 2009 and from 2009 to 2013, no one knows. But just maybe As we keep shining the light and reporting what others will not report, just maybe in about 100 years we'll get some results here, and the people can get some type of results in terms of why they put their life on the line in foreign nations. Close us out, my beautiful sister.
Well, the thing that I've learned, my daddy used to tell me back when I was a little girl, the pen is mightier than a sword. And that's what I suggest to anybody. When you find yourself in these type of situations, put the pen to them, because that makes a big difference. Know the law, learn the law, and apply the law, and put the pen to them. Don't be afraid to write them up, because they will not be afraid to write you up.
Once again, this is kvci.blogspot.com, but on YouTube, Boston G.B.R. in Valdosta and Lowndes County, in the state of Georgia and in the United States of America, and above all, in God's world, where justice, sooner or later, will reach the city limits of Valdosta and the county line of Lowndes County. But right now, the people are hurting, and this is just one case. What else didn't you say your daughter can't go to school when it starts?
No, she cannot. She's actually suspended for 5 days because of this incident. So she's dealing with the 5-day suspension, as well as being charged as a criminal and having a like I said, the battery of a school official is a federal. They want me to plead her case down to a misdemeanor. I will not, because if you don't know this, if she gets older, if she wants to be in any government entity, she will not be able to with that misdemeanor, because they sometimes hold that against her. And if she wanted to go and be in the law, in the Army, Air Force, Marine, whatever, the Navy, she will not be able to with these misdemeanors. I done seen it, because my son, not that he experienced that, but because when he was going to apply and do his paperwork, we heard the recruiters time and time again say, what is going on in Valdosta? Why is these children have all these ridiculous things in their records? And it does not make any sense how kids can't even go and serve our country and desire to serve our country because they've been told or done wrong, because they got all these silly things in their records. And I'm not just talking about our people, but it's every kid here. And they rather plea bargain than fight. And I'm telling you what I know, because the public defender does not fight for our children. They'll plea it out first.
Well, you've all heard it, and we have said it over and over again. All you have to do is go to Boston G.B.R. and go to my playlist, Jail, Deaths, and the News and Valdosta News Media Whiteout. News Media Whiteout. I'm asking you to direct everybody to Boston G.B.R. with over 2,500 videos about Valdosta, Lowndes County, and other things, as well as over 250 views, and even from Germany and Japan and around the world, because people believe in open government as it is recorded in the book of John, 8th chapter, 32nd verse, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall set and make you free. Peace be unto you, my beautiful sister.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And as she leaves, this is at Pinegrove Middle School. And I have been banned from all Lowndes County schools. Like she said, when I went to the magistrate court, superior court, the district attorney's office, the federal government, the federal courts, to the Lowndes County Criminal Investigative Department, talked to Sheriff Prine, and there was absolutely nothing in the files on George Boston Rhines. Yet they told me at the high school graduation at Lowndes County on May 25th, 2013, that I could not enter on those grounds or I would be arrested. Arrested, y'all. And there's absolutely nothing. The Sheriff Department says Wes Taylor, the superintendent of Lowndes County School, banned me from the schools. Wes Taylor said the Sheriff Department, and that the sheriff is working on something on me because it's something they think is something in my background, as they told Minister John Robinson from Antioch Baptist Church. So who creates all these laws in the state of Georgia? And where is the Georgia Attorney General? He produced open records and sunshine law, but if it don't serve any purpose, then why don't he just shred it and take it to the closest landfill? Now, I'm not being critical, but I am indeed being factual. And where is the Justice Department? Bye-bye, but we're not gone yet. There's more to come. Yes, time out. Time out. Now time in. My beautiful sister, I commend you as we close this out. For real this time. But let's go back and let's just consider all the local news agencies that you have contacted and made aware of this situation here in Valdosta and Lowndes County. I know the Valdosta Daily Times reporter was there yesterday. So just tell us, everybody, that you have tried to get this story out. And we're not criticizing them. We want them to be recognized. I know you talked to ABC Town 27
yes.
A few minutes ago. And but just tell us your experience in that.
Well, I spoke to Valdosta Daily Times. I gave them the information. I gave them the statement. And I thought that they maybe eventually get it together and, you know, put it out there for me so everybody can know what's going on in this community. I haven't seen anything as of yet. WCTV Channel 6, they came out, they did the report, you know, they asked me questions, I answered it, I gave them the same information, and they told me it was a sensitive matter and they're gonna hold off maybe today or maybe sometime during the week. He wasn't sure. According to his boss, they're not sure when they're gonna publish it. So my story is not being told, and I spoke to ABC 27 today as well, and she said she's going to get back with me. And I think it's sad because now I'm dealing with the government entity and no one wants to report this story because I guess, I don't know, whether it's fearful or they're afraid to come out with it. I don't know what's the problem. But this happened, and my daughter has the right for her story to be told, because if it doesn't be told, that gives them the opportunity to sweep it under the rug, and that gives them the opportunity to give her a felony charge and a misdemeanor charge and destroy her reputation, her credibility, and everything else. And I don't want that to happen to her. So I need this story told as soon as possible, because maybe if it's told, they'll go ahead and dismiss her case and expunge it from record and file. That's what I want. And then I want the officer reprimanded for the wrong he caused upon our family
and community.
Yes.
And once again, just imagine what happened to her. Now look at what happened to me with this criminal trespass warning that are without any foundation whatsoever. Yet these accusations against her daughter, against me, did not come from the KKK, the Bloods, the Crips, the Folk Gang, or any one other. It came from people wearing the uniform in the state of Georgia and in the United States of America. And as long as the active duty people at Moody Air Force Base, and retired veterans that have served their nation, the students at Valdosta State University, the tourists at Wild Adventures Theme Park, those that attend Georgia Military College, Wiregrass Technical College, members of law enforcement, the churches in Valdosta and Lowndes County, as long as we sit back and duplicate Jesus, imitate Muhammad, placate the son of Amram and Yoshabel Moses, and proclaim to be Christians, Muslims, and Jews following the God of the universe. I'm saddened to say it, but if you are a replica of the God of our ancestors that brought us through all that we've been through, then I don't know how you can make it into the hereafter. I don't say this out of hate. I don't say it out of disrespect, but I say it because somebody included it in the volume of sacred law in St. John 8:32. And ye shall know the truth, and that the truth shall set and make you free. Thank Thank you so much, my beautiful sister, for standing strong.
Won't get back home till dark. If you don't cheat